So what do we get here? We have a Arc Captain MIG welder. It can do arc welding as well, and it can do TIG welding as well, but you have to buy the additional TIG gun or whatever it is to do that. So with the actual welder, it came with ground, the stick welding, some flux core welding wire, a couple extra tips, and a cheap little wire brush, and then it comes connected with the MIG gun on it. I also got a welding helmet from the same company, auto tinting, multiple settings, additional glass, and then I bought a welding blanket because these bumpers are required to be fabricated against the actual vehicle. So I got some welding gloves as well, and we should be ready to go when it comes to getting this all done. So first and foremost, what I'm going to be doing is getting the welder set up, make sure I'm kind of good to go there. I do have directions for it and kind of following along, getting that all set up appropriately. I've already kind of looked over the instructions here. They give you a nice little QR code that takes you to their website with instructions on it, as well as videos, as well as the build sheet for what they provided me. So what we're pretty much looking here is front bumper, kind of these big pieces kind of angle off to the side of the truck. These are end caps. These are frame mounts, winch mount, and then these will be for toe points. So looking forward to kind of getting this put together. I also have to look and find out like exactly what I need to do to take that bumper off. Shouldn't be too crazy, pull multiple bumpers. I gotta make sure obviously I get the parking sensors pulled off, the lights unplugged, and then I can kind of go from there in regards to what I want to do for that stuff, because one of the things this doesn't come with is holes for the parking sensors. So I'm probably going to end up having to try to drill through this 1/4" steel and make some holes for that. So that might not be first round thing, but it is something that I will do because I want that. This thing also, I elected to have at least one light cutout, which I believe these might be for. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. But I don't have lights currently for it. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to adapt these round ones. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parking sensors. There is kind of a skid plate built in on here, so I might have to adjust on that a little bit as well. And then obviously factory tow hooks come off, they don't stay on. So I'll be putting Badlands winch on there. That is from my previous truck, but my dad gave it to me as a gift, so I wanted it off the old truck so I could put it on this one. That's what we're working on, and So pull the truck in. What I'm going to do is just kind of slowly go through the bumper and start taking stuff off and getting stuff unplugged. So that'll be our next step in things. So what have we done? These are the kind of upper wheel well covers that go right here. Those got taken out. That was just a matter of 4 Phillips head screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere around here. 2 on the side, 1 on the bottom, 1 on the inside. Then I also got the headlights and the parking. Also got the headlights and the parking sensors undone. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across the top. It looks like there's a few on the front of the grill as well. Rotate them where they're flat. Alright, looks like the only other thing is these little gray clips. There's a few, like 4 of them. It looks 5 maybe. There's one on the inside in here too. Right down here. It looks like I just gotta get all those unclipped, and that should let it loose. Alright, as you can see, the 6 clips that are there just kind of come into these spots right here. Once I got the sides undone, the latch part actually has to come from the bottom, so it's easier. I honestly just slide my arm in here and pop them off slowly all the way across. So, grill's off. You can see there's a couple locking clips in here on the fender flare. And then that's gonna let you get in here and get to this 10 millimeter bolt. Once you undo that on both sides, then there's just clips holding this piece in. So I'm gonna get this unbolted, get that unclipped, and then come back to you. All right, where we're at. So I got these all unclipped. However, once you get to here, you have a few on top, and then it looks like we got a few in here that are like really hard to get to. So I popped off the sensors and the covers for this, which I'm assuming is getting me to the bumper, which I'm hoping is the case. And I'm gonna undo these bolts and see if this will come off, and go from there. All right, so ended up getting those 6 bolts off, and I think we're good here. Back with the GoPro. Got the bumper all the way off, started following directions, and now we're at the point where we're going to start getting things situated. So got one bracket kind of mocked up over there, the other one. All right, right, ultimately what we have is 39 3/4 inches across, which is what we have here. 6/8 obviously. So 19.5 would be 39. Then you still have 3/4 of an inch left, which is 3/8 split in half. So ultimately 19 7/8 with our center mark right here. So we're gonna get that kind of situated up here. I think I might try some tire jacks, some jack stands, and maybe a strap to get this situated, get it centered, and then hopefully from there we should be able to get it tacked in. Pretty much what I'm looking at here is the inside of these flush the same, and then as far as the top goes on these, are we the same? Once I get those similar, I'll lock them down a little bit tighter, and then we'll start looking for the middle of the bumper to get them tacked in. So, see, I just threw a couple little tack welds on both sides. That's just going to allow me to continue to get everything else mocked up. I'm going to stop there for the day to make some dinner for the fam. Don't mind my crazy hair. So starting tomorrow, we'll do the W1s and then the end caps, which is the W2s, and then pull this off, weld in the winch mounting bracket down there, and then pull it back off again, finish weld everything, and put it back on. So that's it for the day. So I did decide to put this piece back on. One of the things I was thinking about as I was fitting this yesterday is what's the appropriate tilt for clearance, and I don't need a lot of room in there, but I do want to make sure it fits right, especially when I start getting these secondary pieces on. So we'll leave it like that and try to get these mocked up. I think I'm gonna start with this side and go from there. Next, we're going to be working on these W1s, I think is what they call them. So we'll get those kind of starting to get mocked up on there and get them tacked in. did decide, instead of me taking this off right now, I'm going to start kind of bouncing around and laying in some welds, some pseudo welds on the vehicle, and then obviously when I take it off I can get on the inside and hit the inside and any of these like relief cuts that I need to weld up. So I'm going to do a little bit on the truck and then take it off and do the rest off the truck. Alright, a little smoky in here, but not too bad. This is what we're going to take the bumper off with. I have welded, pretty much MIG welded one time in my life 15 years ago. I'm going to put on a rocker panel on a 82 GMC Sierra. That's pretty much the only time I've ever welded. That's why I was so interested in getting this little ARC Captain and this kit, because it just gives me the opportunity to kind of do that. Growing my hair out, so it's a little wild, but we're gonna let this cool down a little bit, and she's a little used, but then we'll take the bumper off and get on the inside, weld on the inside, that kind of stuff. Just keep it going. Gonna let it cool down and we'll get the bumper off. Alright, well, we got the bumper off. There you go, we got the bumper off, so you can see still got to hit the inside of these welds, the relief welds. This bracket popped, I'm guessing because of the heat, so easy enough to get that right back in the same place. But all welds took pretty well, you could tell I had good adhesion. But I'm gonna hit all the insides and finish this up. Well, I don't know if I used too much or not, but out of welding wire, so we're stopped there for the day. We were almost done, so close. Not the prettiest welds overall, but once I grind them down, they'll look pretty decent. They should all be bonded pretty decent and hold together. That's probably the jankiest one. So this is what I still have to finish here, all the way along the top. I already got the inside and both sides, but that still needs to get finished up. And then the only other things I'll have to do is tow hooks. That'll probably take a little bit of material. And then these are for the lights. You just weld that against behind the light cutout, and so you can bolt your light in. So Those two left, the rest of the winch mount, and then we can start grinding. Decided to be official today and put a welding hat on. All right, so we got a few more welds over here to finish up, and then I'll get the hookup points for the front, and then we should be good. The last of it. So those just need to be tacked in. That's just for lights. So, should be good. Winch plates in place. Brackets are in place. Welds are done. Tow hooks are done. So now we're gonna get the grinder out and start working on these welds and make them look ugly or decent. We'll see. So that's what we'll be doing next is welding grinds. Alright, got our first full coat of bed liner on. Going pretty good. I'm gonna have to get the back ends over here after. Not the end of the world. So let that bake on for a little bit. Got the inside pretty decent. But I'm gonna just keep repeating this process for a little while. Go from there. Pretty much just trying to get these back ends painted and let it dry overnight. It says wait 5 minutes between coats. So So I'll wait a few more minutes, let that dry, hit it again, let it dry. Probably try to do 3 coats, and then this bad boy is ready to mount. Well, I recorded. Took me a little while to get this up here. I ended up having to get my wife out and ask her to help me get it situated. So what I ended up doing was getting it set on, and there's bolt holes that go up the bottom of the bracket as well. I got those put in to keep the bumper up, and then once I got those in, I'm able to get the rest of these front bolts. There's 3 on each side, so I'm getting those in right now, finger tight at least, which is pretty easy. So you can get some footage. This side, the bottom bolt, I think the bracket might have shifted a little bit, maybe from heat. And so that bottom bolt was having a hard time getting in. But once it got in and got going, we were happy. So you get these all in, get the fair lead on, get the winch wired in. I might need to trim the fender panel just a little bit, but we'll try that when time comes. Otherwise, we are bolted in. We just need to be torqued down. Alright, so got some new bolts, some 9/16 head on them, put a lock washer, flat washer on the back side. Let's see if we're spinning. Nope. And wiring the winch, but ultimately we are done. Worth the struggle doing it yourself just for the sake of doing it. So thanks for following along. Hopefully it's helpful if you're thinking about doing the same process. Good luck, be ready for frustration, but in the end, ultimate success. Well, that's the final product. It should do her job.